I've been told many a time to just show up. Sometimes I ask the critical question, how? We're going to answer that and have a little fun with Marcy Axelrod. That is next. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
You doggone right, it's the Brian Snow Show, and I'm back. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to this latest edition of the Brian Snow Show. Happy to have you guys with us. How many times have you been told to just show up? You don't think about it. You just do it. It becomes an innate nature. But then one day, your body and your mind ask a critical question. How? Let's break that down right now. We go to New York and we have Marcy Axelrod. And she's going to tell us how we choose to show up by breaking it down for us and with us. Hello, Marcy. Great to have you.
I sure am. And Brian, wow, did you just show up to that introduction? You don't know the number of people who they're not as genuine, as authentic. They're not having a conversation. Con as in like with the person. That intro was the most unique and genuine that I think I've had. And I've probably done 50 or 100 podcasts in the last year, right? Ever since the book came out and became a best seller. And I've gotten these invitations. I am appreciating you so much.
I appreciate you for coming on this morning. And I love that book. And you showed a magic trick with that book, which kind of highlights the title of the book and its purpose. I want y'all to take a look because you see that little medallion on the right side on the right side of it?
Yes.
That shows up.
I can't even. Yeah,
there you go.
This one
shows up. When you turn it the right way, you don't see it. But when you turn it the other way, you do see it as a number one bestseller.
Right. So it's totally gone.
Mm-hmm.
And there it is.
And there it is.
Gone. And there it is. And right. So what we were just talking about, these are choices. You can choose to show up to life like this, where it's kind of, dull. You've seen it before. Or you can say, what's new?
Mm-hmm.
What has changed? And I'm literally going to explain the neuroscience of how that happens. But very briefly, because I don't want to skip over what showing up truly is and what just showing up is.
Right.
Because my 20 years of research shows, as of the latest surveys, 80% of us just show up 80% of the time. And just showing up means you just represent the past and everything shows up the way it did before. And so do you. And, 99% of your thoughts are the same thoughts you had yesterday. And the patterns, your behaviors are the same as yesterday. Is that the life we all want to live?
Mm-mm. 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 It's been drilled into our heads. And I said at the top of the show, it's been drilled into our heads to just show up. There's no context behind it. There's no meaning, but there's no meaning behind it. You're just told just show up,
right.
and things will be fine. And as I've gone through life, I'm thinking,
right. So there are quality levels that are inherent in nature, right? Everything has phases of showing up, and like there's some version of, preferred and less preferred. I say away from good and bad or better and worse, but you can choose to be not there at all, even though you're physically there, or you can choose to be deeply presencing with the magic of what's going on. I'm going to use a sports analogy here because I just learned about Jason Williamson.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine is like, look at these passes. And they're out of left field. They're like, where's his right? And it's like this way and this way. And he's kind of noticing things and looking the other way. And then, so I said to the person I was with, I said, how does the team around him make use of this? It's so impromptu. It's so like, what in the world? Where's it coming from? And he said to me a phrase that is such a showing up phrase. He said that the coach guides them to, ready for this? Always expect the ball. The only way to catch that up, the only way to notice, wow, I just saw a micro expression on my daughter's face. There's something going on.
Mm-hmm.
Or, the boss, even though they're still dominating the meeting here, I think there's a question that I need to ask about what he just said or what she just said, right? You have to be always expecting the ball. Why? Because the world is always showing up for us. And notice it's not to us. It's with us and for us. There's a whole lexicon of showing up. You put the word to and you change it to with and for. Always expect the ball. But let's get back to the quality levels because level 3 quality is out there. That's truly showing up. But you get to choose how to truly show up for it. And I'm going to send you this diagram for people listening. Okay, sorry to be moving it all around, but there's a continuum on the bottom here.
Mm-hmm.
One is red, barely there.
Yes.
You know what it's like to show up barely there. Sometimes you have to, sometimes you just are blowing it off, and you are. And then there's level 2. That is just showing up. And then there's level 3 over here, which is truly showing up. And let me explain. Just showing up is this vast middle ground where you're kind of blowing it. This is the like, yeah, I checked the time and the weather and I just head on out and see what happens. And the moments of your life go by and you lay in bed and you're just tired. And you're like, was this such a meaningful day? All the gifts, all those diamonds were left on the ground. I actually carry little plastic diamonds in my purse. And every so often I notice that someone needs it and I take it out and I say, look, sometimes I actually put it on the ground. And I say, look over there. And the person says, what are you talking about? I said, look over there. There's a diamond. And the person finds the diamond and they pick it up and they say, how did like, and I say, because it seems like you needed this. Your life is gifting you opportunities every moment. The people you're with, the information around you. But if you're in this get it done, this just show up and get it done mode, you're going right by. And what that means is that people don't really feel your care. And creativity, like new ideas, aren't showing up for you. And then just as I said, right, you kind of lay in bed and think, where did this day go? Where did that year go? Where did that decade go? Like, why am I not living the life I want? Mm-hmm. Brian, I'm going to stop right there because I really want you to like reflect on this for our list, for all the listeners. And for me, I want to hear, how is this landing for you?
It's landing big time for me. And especially now, 3 years, almost 3 years off of cancer surgery.
Wow.
I had surgery to remove pancreatic cancer. I'm in remission. And I can honestly tell you that as soon as I got the news that I was in remission, my body was like very weak and I was just showing up. I was just barely there.
Right. And sometimes
it has taken until the end of 24 for me to like get to that next level, not just showing up, but really living in the moment. You know, I had a conversation with Dan Patrick some time back and he asked me, you know, how do you show your emotion? How does your emotion live through you through these games? And I told him, you live in the moment. Now I'm really learning to live in the moment.
Mm.
Special lady I have to thank for that. Her name is Jody, my beautiful wife. She's I cannot tell you how many times she's been giving me those diamonds that you talk about that you leave
Oh.
for people.
Mm.
And she keeps saying, take a look, take a look, take a look. And I was just too stubborn, tired, and afraid to look. If I can fully admit that, because I fully admitted it to her first and foremost.
Wow.
And we made a commitment to each other because we both have been so busy to like just spend an hour together with each other every day, no matter what
Mm.
the workday brings us. And I'll tell you, that's been such a lift for me.
Hmm.
Even if I have a late night game to do, and she said, just let's have an hour together, even if you have extra
Mm.
work to do and I have extra homework to do, because she's also pursuing her doctorate. That's been huge. Now, I'm out of the level 2 just showing up,
Right.
and now showing up with a purpose.
Yes.
It also helps that I'm a girl dad.
Oh, that's
My
awesome.
daughters get my daughter Cheyenne, she jokes around with me saying, "Do your job, Pop," but Sonia, Sam, and Carmen, all my daughters, my son Dakota, they've all pushed me. And I can honestly say I didn't respond until lately. And now every day I think of them and they of me. And it's getting to that third level now. There's a ways
Oh,
to go, but it's getting to that third level now that you talked about and we had a chance
that's
to talk about before
amazing.
we came on the air today.
That's
It's huge.
it is huge. So I'm going to show you what the model is that's underneath what you just said. Okay, because showing up is nature's model
Mm-hmm.
of how humans are designed to thrive. This isn't Marcy Axelrod's model.
Right.
It's just, the research kind of pointed it out enough that I was able to write it down and think, oh my God, this is it. And the moment I share it, you are going to say, oh my God, why wasn't this taught in kindergarten? I
Exactly.
hear that all the time. Why wasn't this taught in school? So let me reframe based on what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Right, my daughters and son, they teach me. My wife, I'm living that hour each day with her, right? And what you didn't say is you're living it more deeply. You're right. There's a meaning
Yep.
behind it. So that's a situation that you've chosen to create for yourself where you truly show up and it truly shows up for you. And you also mentioned relationships, relationality,
Mm-hmm.
right? Something that's bigger than you. It goes beyond just you. So the model that you just exemplified is that you are an individual self, role 1, showing up within a situation. You're a member of a situation. You're a father. You're in that treasured hour with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a member of something larger, society, right? You go, these games every night. You do a podcast. You're a survivor and an elevator of hope and of life as a survivor, right? You are right. So that's your societal member role. So this is the model of how we're designed to show up. We're in 3 roles,
Yep.
right? And over here, I explain it more. Self, individualized self, situation member, and societal member.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of those has a skill. And they're so simple. You want to be grounded in yourself. Know yourself, know who you are and why. You want to be ready for your situations, right? Always expect the ball. If you don't always expect the ball, or you don't know, wow, that was a meaningful thing. I'm going to tell my wife at 6:00 when we sit down for our hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're not so readiness for your situations, and then the skill for our societal role, connected. But it goes beyond that. It's connected with intent to serve.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a word I put on it that we can't get into it now, but the word is all-telligence. Because intelligence makes no sense. That's a mirror that's like focused on us.
Yep.
What showing up does is it does this with your mirror, because it's not about us. Blow up the ego, let it dissipate, recognize everyone is on their show up continuum at every moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so is everything, every game, your health, every vote, everything, social justice, the economy, everything is on that continuum at every moment, because it's nature's continuum, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's acceptance built in. There's the dynamism and flow that's built in. There's choice built in. A couple other keywords,
Yep.
Brian, reciprocity.
Mm-hmm.
Because the world shows up for us and we show up for the world. There's a reciprocity. You can picture that Mobius strip, right? And that
Yep.
figure 8, it's going around and it's coming back and it's going
Yep.
around.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So those are key show up words: reciprocity, acceptance, kinship. But I'm going to stop there. So I hope it's been clear. I hope I was able to take how you described how you're relating to showing up and draw out the model from your truth and from reality, as opposed to making it seem like a cognitive, analytical, theoretical thing. It's not theoretical.
No, it's I can describe it, and I know we have a short time together this morning. I want to first invite you back for a longer conversation, because this has been, and even in this short time, it's been an absolute delight. But I can typify what you just spoke about with yesterday. I had a game to do, women's basketball, because I'm focusing more on women's sports, because it's always had a piece of my heart. So I had a women's basketball game scheduled yesterday between TCU and Kansas. And during the game, during each break, I could feel my body getting tired. And then during the fourth quarter, we had some technical difficulty. And the first thing I thought of was, okay, I got this far, I can end the stream. But then my body said, no, we play a full 4 quarters. Get back to the game and get through it. You can get to the finish line. I finished the game. I got to the finish line, and I can't tell you how happy I was to get there, because that's like the first full game I've done in a couple of months, because physically I've been tired, mentally I've been exhausted, and then I've been scared to do something that I love, and going back to the just showing up.
Right.
And when I was like just showing up to put the headset on and do games, it wasn't fun. And that's something Victor told me. My friend Victor said, you got to have fun again.
Yes.
And my wife repeated it. She said, if you don't feel like doing it, don't do it. Don't stretch your body so far that you're so exhausted you can't do anything else. So when I got through that game yesterday, I can't tell you how uplifted I was.
Wow.
And how much fun it was to do. I know we're coming up to the end of this, but like I said, before I let you go, I want you to come back, because I want to clear a full hour with you so we can really dive into this. I mean it, because I'm feeling this, and I can relate it so much to that continuum that you spoke of earlier. So I would love to have you come back.
Well, thank you, Brian. I'm totally touched. I would love to come back. And I want to pick up on so much of what you talked about. Fun and fear. And we can add focus. We'll have some three F's in there.
Yep.
Yeah, because what you focus on, shows up for you. You create it. Call it manifestation. There's a lot of ways. Call it intuition. There's a lot going on, because this is embodied. Right? People talk about a mindset and hacks. No, our life is not a mindset, and our life is not to be hacked. This is an embodied experience that you have, and your fun showed up, and your fear showed up, and your intuition showed up. Why? Because it's nature. This is how nature designed us to show up. So yeah, you tell me when you want to schedule again, and I'd love to hear more from you about those things.
We definitely will tie everything together. how we choose to show up. Marcy Axelrod joining me here on the Brian Snow Show to help kick off the new year. Thank you so very much, my dear. It's been a delight. I can't wait for you to come back.
I can't wait to continue, Brian. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you for tuning into The Brian Snow Show, where sports is the base, life and fun are the results.